Blessings and welcome to Eartheart Radio. Finally beginning to awaken from the illusion of separateness and broadcasting live from the KSKQ studios in beautiful Ashland, Oregon. Here's your host, Derek Moody.
Good evening, brothers and sisters, or good afternoon. Yeah, I'm used to my other radio show, which is in the evening, and I always start off by saying good evening. So, hey, let's start over again. Good afternoon. What a great day. I'm glad to have everyone tuned in today. Eartheart listeners, KSKQ supporters, brothers and sisters, thank you for sharing this hour with me. I'm Derek Moody. This is the Eartheart Radio Show, number 39. Our YouTube channel continues to slowly grow, and we currently have around 90 subscribers. Eartheart is spelled with one H, and once you subscribe to the show on YouTube, you do get notifications anytime we post anything. And if you miss any given show on any Sunday, you can always go to the YouTube channel to hear the archives. Today, you will hear about the Ascended Master, known as Hilarion. I've also got positive news stories from this wild world we are residing in, oh so temporarily. And we will hear harmonious music to make you feel good. My guest today is an author. I love authors because, as you know, I'm a bookworm. My guest is an author. She's recently become a resident of Ashland, Oregon, and was referred to by my friend and the great teacher, Peter Mount Shasta. Her name is Joy Taylor. She has a new book out called 7 Wisdoms of a Soul-Inspired Life. She is an inspirational teacher for the modern age, past director of the Women's Business Center in Northern California. Her passion is empowering and equipping individuals to lead and love aligned with their values. In her speaking and training, she offers practical strategies and solutions to assist you in living an authentic, purposeful life, a life founded in self-compassion and trust. Please welcome to the Eartheart Radio Show my guest, Joy Taylor. Hi, Joy.
Hello. I like Eartheart.
Oh, well, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
How do you know Peter Mount Shasta, can I ask?
Oh, you can, and we'll have to go back in time a good 22 years.
Wow, you've known him decades.
Yeah, I moved to Mount Shasta in 1998.
Oh,
and I met him shortly after I moved. I moved to Mount Shasta because I had a vision of myself living at a base of a mountain, and I was in the desert at the time. But I got there and opened up my healing practice as a massage therapist, intuitive healer, and who walked in my door but this incredible being of light looking for a session. Now, and you know Peter, he's full of miracles, right?
He is.
So he's actually in my book, and I talk about in my book some of his great stories because he's been one of my great teachers in terms of following intuition. But he found me from intuition. He heard a message to go to the health food store. He went to the health food store and he heard, look at the bulletin board. And I had just posted a flyer. I just moved to town. I had a flyer for my healing work, and that's how we met. He came in my office and he saw a picture of Shirdi Sai Baba, which not a lot of people know about Shirdi, and it's been a lifelong friendship, and he was a meditation teacher of mine for years.
That's we had a special recently on this show about Shirdi Sai Baba.
You're kidding.
No, I love him so much. I really love him.
Oh, wow. Yeah, me too. And if anyone doesn't know who he is, they can look up and learn, because he's actually so timely for this era too. He was just brilliant at bringing together different transcending religion and being a messenger of spirituality in a time and an era and a location that had conflict.
Yes, I agree. And thank you for bringing him up. Even hearing his name makes me smile. So I take it you lived in Ashland for in the past, and did you move and then relocate back here again?
No.
Okay.
It's Mount Shasta for over 20 years.
Okay, so you were in Mount Shasta and then you came to Ashland.
Yes, and when we live in Mount Shasta, we are often in Ashland.
Yeah.
We know where to go for green shows and and good coffee and Lithia Park. So I've been in the region for a long time. I love it here.
You know, I always consider this area, Ashland, all the way down to Mount Shasta, as a really sacred area, and that's like my stomping grounds as well. And I've read a lot of historical books that talk about this area as being some of the oldest, between here and Shasta, some of the oldest geography that's like left from like, all the different yugas that have been destroyed and reborn. And I hear it's a really sacred place according to history.
Oh, yeah. And I feel, as I think all of us who have been here or visited here, that that magnificence, it's a friendly place. There is, for me, just something, I feel protected. I feel a simplicity. I feel that there's a sense of community and sustainability. We're so close to nature. And just that, anyone who's going to say yes to living this so-called remote from any big metropolitan city is going to be someone who obviously values nature.
Amen. Yeah.
Yeah. And nature is a temple. Nature is a divine place to learn so much wisdom and to center ourselves in really what matters most.
And Joey, I spoke to an elderly family member of mine a couple days ago, and she's in Illinois. And, a lot of folks are really afraid right now because they focus on the media and things, and you can't blame them because they don't have any other outlets to get, news from. So it's a family member, and she let me know that she hasn't stepped out of her house basically since around March 2nd. And I was like, you poor thing, you need to be out in the trees, even if it's by yourself in your backyard or something, but you need to have that time with the nature to balance out these feelings, and you can't just stay in the house, and I felt so bad for her because, as you know, being in nature is so healing, and boy, I hate to see people shut in without having the love of the nature.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because we are nature.
Yeah.
We are this earth that is going through a massive transformation. We physically are this earth, and we are consciously the Gaia energy. We're all one. And I love that in your intro, by the way, Derek, the illusion of separateness, that the show is really dedicated to supporting people in moving through past beyond the illusion of separateness. So
well, thank you.
If we think we're separate from nature, oops, right?
Oops.
we are nature.
Yes. Your new book is called 7 Wisdoms of a Soul-Inspired Life. And boy, are there some nuggets of greatness in there. I've wrote down all kinds of little notes, and I have little things I want to bring up about the book.
Okay.
Lots of quotes that I kind of wrote down just to bring up to see what you would say. A couple things were pretty profound, actually a lot more than a couple, but it's been said by many wisdom warriors that gratitude is a form of prayer. Where does this expression come from? I love that.
Oh, like everything in the book, it just, it's downloaded.
Yeah.
So I use the term wisdom warriors because the book is the 7 wisdoms, i.e. 7 secrets, insights, keys, principles, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, they feel like wisdom. To me, wisdom is knowledge and heart blended. It's a knowing. And so wisdom warriors are those of us that are aligning with our heart as we speak truth and choosing to be congruent with the way of love in every action that we take. And so some wisdom warriors are spiritual teachers in profession. All wisdom warriors are spiritual teachers in being and how they live their life. So, a janitor as much as is a wisdom warrior, as much as one of our best-selling authors out there. But the phrase and the concept that gratitude is a form of prayer, where that probably came from? My grandma, who I talk a lot about in the book.
Noni.
My mom's mom. Nani.
Yep. Okay, Nani.
Nani. She said to me, every thought is a prayer and every prayer is a thought. Because we're constantly in communication with the divine. And so I would say gratitude, if I could rewrite the book, thank you very much for this one. I would say gratitude is not only a form of prayer, it's one of the highest forms of prayer.
And it's
a prayer that is like a celebration
It's really interesting because I was getting ready to say, when you said every thought is a prayer and every prayer is a thought, I had that underlined and was getting ready to say it right when you did. It's so funny. Out of that whole book, you happened to pick that one line to say that I was going to say.
Cool.
And it says prayer is communication from the heart. I love that as well.
Whereas meditation is more of a listening with the heart. So I see prayer for myself being a little bit more like interactive communication. It can be song, it can be words, and meditation is that blissful moment of nothingness, of stillness, of that center point that is a little bit more of a listening in the way I experience it. When I'm lucky enough to experience it.
Right. There you go. Keywords there. And there's another quote I wrote down. The more that you let go of controlling your future, the more inner and outer guidance shows you the way to move forward step by step.
I like that.
Me too.
Yeah, and it's important. I find especially it's just speeding up so quickly. It feels like I used to be able to do these timelines where I would maybe project 5, 10, 20 years out, or, I do a lot of business coaching for spiritual teachers and transformational leaders. I love business. It's my background. And it seemed like it was easier to create plans and kind of control things. But there are so many moving pieces. I feel like consciousness is shifting, and what is being called for us now is that letting go of control and feeling more comfortable in the unknown, in that dark void, in the mystery.
Yeah, letting go of fear.
Yeah, so fear, of course, when we're afraid, we want to control things. And I get that. And actually, when we're afraid, it's actually a good idea to just control your immediate environment, maybe control your breath. But, ultimately, the more and more and more we get comfortable in not knowing and trusting that the universe is benevolent, there is a certain magic that guides us to where we need to be. And we don't always get the full picture. We get the next step.
Yeah, and a lot of folks won't listen to that inner guidance. They just tend to shrug it off. But if we do tune in and listen to that, it'll take us to the next step and the next step after that.
Well, and I think it also takes time to figure out what's inner guidance and what's a part of us that's underdeveloped, afraid, a psychological hang up, a shadow, an unconscious belief. It's like navigating that inner landscape of self. Because I know for myself, I've got aspects of me that really get, afraid when they're uncomfortable, afraid when I'm being stretched professionally. And that part of me can tell me all sorts of stories to convince me not to do it.
Right.
So and we talk about it in the book too, but my spiritual teacher, David, a Jewish rabbi, he's my core wisdom warrior spiritual teacher. He said that intuition requires a still mind. And it's kind of like if there's a message written at the bottom of a swimming pool, if there's ripples of water, if the water is rippling, we can't see the message. So the rippling water are our insecurities, our mental disturbances, our emotional ups and downs. They could be physiological issues. They could be a lot of distractions. There's a lot of things that keep us busy and outside of the stillness, which they would say is the theta brain state, in order to see the message at the bottom of the pool, or in order to feel the intuition at the center of our heart, or as a vision, as a voice, as a knowing, as a sensing. So, intuition is to be practiced, explored, experimented with. Yeah.
And you were mentioning that one of your biggest passions is business. And, one of the quotes I saw on your book says, empowering evolutionary entrepreneurs to lead on purpose. I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I do too.
So what kind of coaching?
We need more evolutionary entrepreneurs. It's like business has always been about offering solutions to problems. But what we've seen, unfortunately, is a lot of people make up problems and manipulate people into thinking they have problems they don't really have, like not a good enough car or higher enough heels or something like that.
Yeah.
So, when we're getting to a place where we have some big challenges ecologically, societally, economically, I mean, I see more and more conscious businesses showing up, and that makes me happy. And we as consumers are voting for change with the dollars we spend with these really positive companies.
That's great. Yeah, it's really great. And things are changing quickly on the horizon as far as pretty much everything with the pandemic going on. There's so many shifts, as you said, happening. And, a lot of folks perceive it as being on the surface as negative, but really it's just change. Not necessarily negative or positive. It's just kind of is. You have to navigate those waters, like you said, to where the ripples are clear so you can see down to the bottom and get the message,
Yeah, well, I believe it's a benevolent universe. So what is happening as I see it is the collective unconscious is being exposed. And we've been spending years in the personal development realm with Carl Jung and other incredible leaders, looking at our own shadow, right? And that's what consciousness is. We become enlightened by bringing light to that which was hidden, that which was dark. And what I see now is that we're moving from the personal more and more into the collective and the global. And so what's happening right now is phenomenal in the sense of things that have been systemic and hidden are coming to a surface.
Would you agree that we are somehow subconsciously dealing with the collective karma, even if it's people like we didn't, for instance, have slaves, or we didn't do things that were bad for like fracking in the environment? But as a world, a lot of our leaders aren't the best, human beings. Are we all paying as a nation, as a collective karma because of all the years and years of abuse to this country and the world?
So I would probably say that consequence is a great teacher.
Yeah.
And we are experiencing the consequences of our collective choices. And we each are here at this time for a reason, because we want to be a part of this exposure. How we individually face it, what we believe about it, and the sacred choices and activism that we take, the things we say and don't say, are all up to us.
Yeah.
Which will be in the big blending of the consciousness. But yes, we're becoming conscious. What is consciousness? Collective consciousness. We're becoming conscious. We're becoming conscious collectively for everything we have collectively done.
And that's the beauty of being reincarnated into a physical body. According to all the Hindu and Buddhist masters, we have the ability to have consciousness. We can remember God. We can make good and bad choices. We can choose to do good and not just exist. So it's such a blessing to actually to have the senses we have and the choices we can make.
Yeah. Oh, I feel grateful to be here at this time.
Me too. How long did it take you to write your book, Joy? Again, if you're tuned in, we're listening. We're talking with author Joy Taylor at the Eartheart radio show on KSKQ. 7 Wisdoms of a Soul-Inspired Life is the book. And the question was, how long did it take you to write the book?
Which is such a funny question, because I my whole life,
right?
And this is, for anyone who's thinking about writing a book, there's so many phases. For me, it was journaling, and I always was a writer, but I hired a writing coach, and I created my first manuscript, and that took about a year, and it was very part-time. It was on weekends and when I felt like it, and it was 300 pages. Then I got into an editing process. So once I got into editing, it was about a year. And that was, in my case, it was working. I did it on the weekends and the evenings. And then I would take like a week off and just focus and have a writer's retreat. So
did you do your own editing and all that good stuff?
I found Sylvia is her name, an amazing editor out of Sedona. So she was brilliant. In the back, I acknowledge her, but she was like cherry picking the best of the 300-page manuscript so we could actually get something that was smaller and digestible. And so it's a lovely process when someone finds an editor that is going to push them forward as an author. And I definitely found a good editor. So
yeah, and you still got over, 230-something great pages to read, too.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for future books, or is that something that doesn't happen like that? Does it just happen when it comes, or do you have something on the agenda?
Oh, I think there's more. There's a whole piece that was part of the original manuscript that I would love to write about a little bit more of the philosophy of inspiration and expression and choice points. And so that book is in me. I've got another book in me, but I'm not going to talk about it. And then I've got a guidebook that I'm working on so people who read Inspired can actually experiment with the wisdoms on their own. So that's like a journal exercise guidebook.
That's beautiful. And if anyone's listening and are interested, we are community radio, so I can't do things like say, hey, go buy this or go do this, but I can certainly give the information. And if people want to make the choice, they can. Where is your book available at?
It's at Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
Okay,
and it's in Ashland. It's at Soundpiece, yeah.
And also www.asoulinspiredlife.com. That must be your website, right?
That's my website, yes, and there's a link there too.
Nice. Yeah. I wish we had more time, but it's been a pleasure to talk with you. When I heard from Peter Mount Shasta, and he said he had an author friend that would be interesting for the show, I didn't think twice, and I'm super happy that I got to meet you. And I read about 3/4 of your book, and I'm looking forward to finishing the book. And I really do wish you well on the area and hope that you continue to write good stuff like this.
Thank you, Derek. And you keep doing this Eartheart beat.
I will.
I like it.
I will.
Yeah,
That's
pleasure.
That means a lot. And if you get another book out, or if you want to come back on the show anytime to talk, please get a hold.
Okay. Sounds great.
Sounds great. Joy Taylor, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Okay. Blessings. You are listening to the Eartheart Radio Show and my chat with author Joy Taylor. Pretty cool. The book is called 7 Wisdoms of a Soul-Inspired Life. KSKQ has a great new sponsor. Listeners who would like to support local community radio can now sign up for a local internet services, and by doing so, directly help support this local community radio station. Visit sisq.net or call 541-734-2355 to get locally supported high-speed internet in your home or in your business. Speaking of business, I have business to attend to right now. The business is the business of playing something stimulating for your ears. This is going out from my friends Bob and Red up in New York, upstate New York. It's the Grateful Dead with Ripple at the Eartheart Radio Show in KSKQ.
If my words did glow with the gold of sunshine, and my tunes were played on the harp unstrung, would you hear my voice come through the music? Would you hold it near as it were your own? It's a hand-me-down. The thoughts are broken. Perhaps they're better left unsung. I don't know. Don't really care. Let there be songs to fill the air. there is no pebble tossed, nor wind to blow, reach out your hand. If your cup be empty, if your cup is full, may it be again, let it be known. There is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men. There is a road, no simple highway between the dawn and the dark of night. And if you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone. Ripple in still water, when there is no pebble tossed, no wind to blow, you choose to lead, must follow. But if you fall alone. If you should stand, then who's to guide you? If I knew the way, I would take you home. La da da da, la da da da, la da da, la da la da da da, la da da da, la da da da.
You are listening to KSKQ Radio and the Eartheart Radio Show with the Grateful Dead there doing one of my favorite songs, actually. It's called Ripple. And boy, that song was in my head all week. And then yesterday I thought, why not play it and get the song out of my head, right? So I played the song and then it was in my head even worse. So I was like, that's right. I've got to play this on the Eartheart Show. It's meant to be. What a pretty little song, right? Yeah. Locals Guide is proud to be an underwriter of KSKQ. Locals Guide is committed to community building through the creation of positive media. They offer a monthly magazine, mobile travel guides, and visitor information kiosks, which offer timely and accurate local information to people just like you all around the world. KSKQ thanks Locals Guide and listeners like you for supporting community radio. I am Derek Moody. Thanks for being here, my friends. You are at KSKQ, where we would love to ask your assistance in helping us procure $3,000 for our budget, okay? We've had a few things happen here behind the scenes, and we are community radio, not supported by the big corporate conglomerates. So if I could ask even a couple of you regular Eartheart listeners to kindly, if you can, do it. If it's comfortable. If it's not, hey, don't worry. We love you, man. But anyone that does have the funds financially to give us any help, your debit card or credit card can be used directly at our site at kskq.org. You go there. It's very simple. Couple buttons you press, couple things you fill out, and you're done in a couple of minutes. And the money goes to the KSKQ PayPal site, which helps us keep going. But we had a little emergency recently, and we're trying to collect $3,000 to keep on an even keel. So if anyone could contribute, that would be fantastic. I personally going to go home and check my bank and see what I can do, because again, I'm a volunteer here. This is a labor of love for so many of us. There must be 60 shows that are independently produced from this building. Feels pretty good, you know? Trying to put the community back in the world, and of course trying really hard to put the unity back in community.
Saints, angels, avatars, sages, yogis, holy men, medicine women, helpers, elders, revolutionaries, and advocates of love. Today we honor and show love, respect, and gratitude.
All right, my brothers and sisters, thanks for listening. Every week I like to pay tribute to another high-frequency soul. And let's dedicate this portion of the show to Fritz the dog. This is for you, Fritz. Today we're going to focus on the master, the ascended master called Hilarion. Hilarion is considered a saint within the I Am movement, one of the masters of ancient wisdom. And in the Ascended Master Teachings is one of the Ascended Masters, also collectively known as the Great White Brotherhood. He's considered to be Sholan, or Lord of the Fifth Ray. Theosophist C.W. Ledbetter wrote that the Master Hilarion's primary influence is upon the scientists of the world. The Master Hilarion is believed to have been incarnated as the Apostle Paul of Tarsus. Some have believed that he was the Christian Saint Hilarion. Various traditions, such as Hindu and Tibetan Buddhism, hold that it is possible for the spiritually advanced to have more than one incarnation happening at the same time. Wow, I have never thought about that, really. One incarnation or more happening at the same time. I wonder if that's what deja vu might be. Who knows? Hilarion was the high priest of the Temple of Truth on Atlantis, and he transported the flame of truth together with the artifacts of the temple to Greece a short time before the sinking of Atlantis. Hilarion sponsors teachers of truth, servants of God, religious leaders, and missionaries, as well as those practicing the healing arts, scientists and engineers in all fields, mathematicians, musicians, those specializing in computer and space technology, and those who work with all forms of media and communications. Hilarion's most famous lifetime was as Saul of Tarsus, who became the Apostle Paul after his encounter with Jesus on the road to Damascus. Toward the end of his life, the people's saint, for they had claimed him as their own, retreated to a spot in Cyprus so remote that he was convinced no one could find him there. But one paralyzed devotee managed to drag himself there. He found Hilarion was cured and no longer paralyzed, and then he spread the word of Hilarion. As Jerome said, quote, "A city set on a hill cannot be hid." I love that. A city set on a hill cannot be hid. Hilarion had become that city by his devotion to Christ, and by that devotion he magnified the Lord. And so it was that the saint ended his days in that valley, with many people coming to see him. After his passing, his followers buried him there, as was his desire. But within several months, his closest disciple, Hesychius, secretly dug up his grave and carried his body off to Palestine. Ascended Master Hilarion, from his ascended state, continues to provide assistance to modern humanity. Hilarion was born around 291 and died around the year 371. Very interesting, huh? Hope you like that little Fritz dog. I just got a photo of Fritz dog. He's the cutest. Wow. I feel like Hilarion's in here right now, okay? I just feel the energy of Hilarion. Either that or the drugs are kicking in. No, I'm joking. Humor's okay, my friends. I would like to play some music for you. I've received a CD in the mail from one of our past guests. That's right. His name is Sita Ram Das. Somebody I really look up to. He's a good guy, a very spiritual friend of mine. He was one of the caretakers for the late Baba Ram Das. Really great guy. Sita Ram Das has a new band with a bunch, like 5 folks called Kripa. And they have released some great music and some really interesting mixes that I'll be playing on the show probably every week for the next 5 weeks, because I like it so much. I would like to share one track each week, starting now with Sita Ram Das doing the piano stotram right here at the Eartheart Radio Show and KSKQ, your very favorite community station on the planet Earth. Right?
Akanda mandala garam Yabdım yena zura zuram Tatpadam dashitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Stavaram Jangamam Vyaptam Yakanchit Sajarachuram Tatpadam Dashitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chinmayam Yabadam Sarvam Trilokyam Sajarachuram Asitvam Dashitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sarvashuti Shriroradnaha Parajita Padam Pujaha Vedantam Puja Suryo Yas Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Chaitanyam Shashvatam Shantam Vyomatitam Niranjanam Nada Bindu Kalatitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Jnana Shakti Samaruraham Tattvamala Vibhushitaha Bhukti Mukti Pradatacha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Aneka Jamma Samprabda Karma Bandha Vidahine Atmagyana Pradhanena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shoshanam Bhavasindhoscha Gyapanam Sarasam Paraha Guru Bharatakam Samyak Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Na Guru Radhikam Tattvam Na Guru Radhikam Tavaha Na Guru Radhikam Jnanam Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Manata Shri Jagannatha Madguru Shri Jagadguru Madatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guru Radharanadisya Guru Param Devatam Guru Padataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Yat Satyena Jagat Sarvam Yat Prakashena Prantiyat Yadanandena Nandaiti Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nitya Shudham Nirabhasam Nirakaram Niranjanam Nitya Buddham Chidanandam Guru Brahmanamam Yaham. Dhyana Mulam Guru Murti Puja Mulam Guru Padam Mantra Mulam Guru Vagyam Moksha Mulam Guru Kripa. Namami Shri Guru Balavam Smarami Shri Guru Namanirmalam Pashyami Shri Guru Rupa Sundaram Shanomi Shri Guru Kirti Adbhutam Syavara Ramachandra Ki Jai.
You are at KSKQ Radio and the Eartheart Radio Show, and that was Sitaram Das from the new Kripa album. Kripa is a new band. It's a service-oriented kirtan group dedicated to the wide accessibility of spiritual practices and teachings such as bhakti yoga and kirtan. They do this by offering free and low-cost events such as, as outreach to the prison system, for instance. They do real good work with the prison system. Tax-deductible donations can be made to support the cause at https://kripa.guru. That's Kripa. Thank you, Sitaram Das, for that lovely CD and song. Thank you to my listeners. Jesse and Audrey are tuned in today. Thanks. Jarno Harnanen is checked in. Matt Eisen. Also, Doug Shields in Pekin, Illinois is listening. Matt Fuelberth. Jennifer Glee in San Francisco. Chuckles is tuned in. Hello, Mama Bear. She's listening in Ashland, Oregon. Hello to Sister Tracy and Little Jetson. You can hear Sister Tracy tonight at 7 p.m. right here at KSKQ as she hosts the Church of Rock radio show. Hello to Oddly Toddly listening here in Ashland. Kelly Santucci is tuned in. Also, the artist Ed Cavett. Austin and Brenda in Brookings, Oregon on the coast. Brenda Rosh in Medford, Oregon. Don in Omaha. And Brother Chance in Florida. Lots of people tuned in today. And you know what I say? I am grateful.
Please let go of your fear. positive news is here. Things aren't as bad as it seems, no matter what they say. News with an agenda is meant to instill fear. True news can instill hope.
How true, how true. Yeah, no corporate news here, my friends. Positive news story number 1. Father's Day is coming up on June 21st. A Bellevue, Washington man who knows what it's like to grow up without a father has been doing his part to make a difference in the lives of kids today who are in the same boat. And from the surging popularity of his YouTube channel, it's clear he will be among the dads most showered with love this Father's Day. Rob Kinney wanted to step into the fill the void whenever a kid needed to learn how to do something like change a car's oil or put up a shelf, use a stud finder, or even iron a shirt or shave his face. His YouTube channel is called Dad, How Do I? It aims to teach youth valuable lessons a father is meant to teach. It was only launched a couple of months ago, but his YouTube channel has already gotten more than 2 million subscribers. Wow. Fans can now count on Mr. Kenny whenever they get in a jam using his step-by-step instructions for jump-starting a car or unclogging a sink. Mr. Kenny said, "Please don't think I'm only aiming this at young men. It's for young women. Anyone who feels they need to learn something or be empowered to learn something." He plans to donate his YouTube earnings to a number of international charities. Such simple words like "I love you" and "I'm proud of you" that so many children don't get to hear from a father figure can have a profound impact, even into adulthood. Happy upcoming Father's Day to all the dads listening. Positive news number 2, some people have been creative and earning money during quarantine. Yep. A British couple created a brand new quiz card game, and they're celebrating their success after sales skyrocketed during lockdown, earning a quick 180 grand. Grant and Jordana Sanderson were shocked to notice their tally of units sold had jumped 1,000% as soon as COVID-19 restrictions were announced in mid-March. Maybe because the game is actually enjoyable for family members of any age. They came up with the concept while playing Trivial Pursuit. Unlike that game, Shot in the Dark involves asking completely random questions to which nobody would really know the answer. So all players have a fair shot at guessing, and so the brainiest person at the table won't always win. Sample questions include, how many liters of paint did it take to paint the White House? Or, on average, at which age does a child reach half their adult height? They normally sell about 5 card games per day, but now that number has jumped from 5 per day to 200 games daily. It's being played on family Zoom sessions all over the United Kingdom. Unfortunately, the game, which is available on Amazon in the UK, does not ship to the United States. That's weird. Positive news number 3, farms of the future. A culinary revolution is taking root on vacant rooftops in Paris, which are being transformed into the world's largest urban farm. It's set to open this month and is estimated to produce 1,000 kilograms of fresh food daily to be used by restaurants and residents. The farm's vertical system is closed loop, which doesn't waste any water and doesn't use pesticides. In season, it produces some 20 to 30,000 portions of fruit, salad, and vegetables. It's become a blueprint for changing how the city eats. We don't throw anything away, says Pascal Hardy, founder of Agropolis. This is the largest urban rooftop farm in the world and the largest urban farm of any kind in Europe, with more than 30 different plant species. The site will produce 1,000 kilograms of goods every day in high season. Growing on the roof, growing in spaces you would normally not grow your own food. That is food for thought. Last story, my friends. Will you be buried or cremated when it's your time? Well, since the world's cemeteries are quickly running out of grave space, Canada has just opened up the world's first bios park, which is a patch of land devoted exclusively to fostering forests of trees grown from the remains of loved ones. Yep. For the last 23 years, Green Funerary Company, BIOS, has been coming up with new ways to help people mourn their loved ones without using traditional burial methods that are notoriously expensive and harmful for the environment. The organization is responsible for creating the BIOS urn, a biodegradable urn containing a tree planting mixture that can be combined with the cremated remains of a beloved family member or pet. Once planted in the ground, the urn blossoms into a tree that can support the planet while also serving as a living memorial for the deceased. The tree grows from the ashes, the urn biodegrades, leaving absolutely no trace, and death becomes transformational and returns life through nature. Return to life through nature. The bio urn were developed 2 decades ago. They do ship their urns and planters to more than 50 countries for about $140 a pop. And that does wrap up the positive news section. Now, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I've been playing songs from the Willie Nelson Stardust album every week for a few weeks because, quite frankly, it's one of my favorite albums of all time. Really beautiful, real spiritual record. This came out in 1978. It's the title track of the Stardust album. It's Willie Nelson at the Eartheart Radio Show in KSKQ.
Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely nights dreaming of a song. The melody haunts my reverie, and I am once again with you. When our love was new, and each kiss an inspiration, but that was long ago, and now my constellation is in stardust of a song. Beside the garden wall, when stars are bright, you are in my arms. The nightingale tells his fairy tale of paradise where roses grew. Though I dreamed in vain, in my heart there always will remain my stardust melody, the memory of love's refrain. I dream in vain, in my heart there always will remain my stardust melody, the memory of love's refrain. though I dream in vain. In my heart there always will remain my stardust melody, the memory of love's refrain.
You are at the Eartheart Radio Show with Willie Nelson, Stardust. I must say that any views or opinions expressed on the Eartheart Radio Show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily represent those of KSKQ. It's KSKQ's mission to produce community radio that empowers the residents of the Rogue Valley and builds sustainable and resilient communities through the exchange of the celebration of cultural ideas and diversity. I'm Derek Moody, and this is Frank Sinatra.
Please tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time. You're listening to the Eartheart Radio Show with your host, Derek Moody, on KSKQ Radio.
Wrapping up another show, my friends. Thank you for being here today at the Eartheart Radio Show. Much love. I'll be back next Sunday at 2 p.m. Blessings to each and every one of you, and have a great week.
You've been listening to Eartheart Radio with your host, Derek Moody. Eartheart Radio is produced by Derek Moody in association with Sister Tracy and Krishna Consciousness. Please tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time.